Sanavavatu sahanao bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome to Madanapalle. We are sitting here looking forward after 2 days. Hopefully some kind of relaxation may come in the lockdown. I'm sure you'll also be waiting for that. Unless you got so accustomed to sitting inside that you don't want to go out. Not bad. Good idea. So, the title of the talk today is Lessons We Have Learned and the Way Forward. I think that's roughly what the subject is. Yes. So, what are the lessons? I have kept some notes, so don't worry if I look a little bit this side. The most important lesson we have learned during this COVID-19 shutdown. What is the most important lesson that we have learned in the COVID-19 shutdown? I have noted it down. This is very simple actually. I wrote it down so that I may not forget that life is absolutely unpredictable. This is the first lesson that we have to learn. Life is totally unpredictable. No fortune tellers, no godmen or assorted imposters and religious head could actually predict this state of affairs. Includes me. I am not giving myself out, okay? After the corona appeared, then afterwards some people say, oh, we knew, we said, but believe me, no one knew. If you knew, why didn't you stop it? If I had some screwdriver here in Madanapalle, stop the COVID. I didn't know, I didn't stop, nobody could. So, first lesson is that life is so unpredictable. And the fact is that there is a facade of permanent happiness. We think everything is going to be as it is. Life is going to go like this. Above all, I am never going to die. Ask anybody, will everybody die? Yeah, what about you? Oh, it will take quite some time to find an answer. So there is this facade of permanent happiness that life projects. That is an illusion. That's the first lesson that we have learned. Really, everybody in the world has learned this. When Shankara said, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, I think he meant this. Not that the world is an illusion, but that the appearance that it projects of being unassailable and going on like clockwork according to our instructions, calculations, idealistic projections, etc., this is an illusion. First lesson. I think it is an important Vedantic lesson to learn from this. The world actually is like a quantum unit. It follows the principle of uncertainty. Anything can happen at any time, and we live in this utter insecurity. Although the mind caught up in spiritual entertainment, which means what? Oh, somebody is going to help me, somebody is going to protect me, up or down. It lives with a false sense of security. This is the first lesson. Please, I am not painting a bleak picture. We should at some point accept facts. And this is a fact. Now, so what happens? So they ask, then why are you sitting and smiling? What's so funny about it? The reason is, I'm not asking you. When one comes to terms with this understanding, then one is completely secure in the understanding of total insecurity. Not looking for imaginary solutions which are merely placebos, like some forms of medicine, so-called. They are placebos. So when you come to terms with this total insecurity, you are secure in the complete insecurity of it. You're no more wondering or thinking for somebody's birthday. You're free. This is why I'm smiling. I know it. I'm sitting here today. How many more years will it go? Then I know it's going to go. It need not be many years. What if the window opens and somebody comes and is in great love and of me and gives me a kiss with COVID-19? What happens? I can go in 6 days. When you understand this, that this world and everything that we have is totally insecure, then you're free. You're not looking for that which is imaginary, because there is no such thing like that, really, in life. So the other important lesson that we have learned here is that science, in this case medical science, doesn't have answers to all questions also. That's the other side of the story. Science is better placed because at least a small portion of real scientists admit this and keep researching to find at least temporary solutions. So that way they are better placed. While we, living in the illusion of everything is okay, we know everything, get stuck when a sorrow like this strikes. While these scientists, at least a small portion of them, they know, they admit that nothing is perfect. We need to research. So they are continuing to do the research, which is not a bad thing, it's a good idea. Even if it's a temporary solution, there is some solution out there. Now, for instance, the research is going on all over the world to develop a vaccine or even a cure for COVID. It may take time. Because even they are human beings, and like us, they were caught unawares. But surely something will come out. And I'm saying, better late than never. Now, we are talking about the lessons we have learned. And we have now learned to stay put in one place. Through how? Through the fear of infection spreading, and ultimately death staring us in the face. In this process, I am hoping that we learn some important lessons in life. Like, for example, how yogis and other contemplatives from ancient times have voluntarily adopted solitude to go deeper into the nature of their minds. This happened because of fear, because of force, because of health reasons and all that, agreed. But having happened, we can kind of look and see there were people who voluntarily imposed this kind of lockdown on themselves to go deeper into the nature of their minds. Can't we learn something from this? It's another lesson we should learn. And also this lockdown, hopefully, has given us time to look into the much neglected study of our minds. We don't have time otherwise to study our minds. We are running around this, that, outside. The mind is neglected. And it is the most important part of our lives, but it is given always third place, fourth place. Now, we have time, I hope, for going into that, to study the mind and its reactions, fears, anxieties, and ego problems, and perhaps reflect on ways to solve them. Today, the head of a company and the chaprasi who works there both are in the same danger. Equal here. That doesn't mean you are staying in a glass house and nothing will come. Not true. It could come. You can't do without a man working there, because you need, if you have a bigger bungalow, you need more people to clean it. And if the cleaner has it, you can get it. So everybody is equal in this. So from that, our egos, instead of growing bigger, should actually learn lessons from this. This is another some of the lessons that we have to learn from this. Then, though we are right now living in solitude, because such a harsh and deadly way This COVID has shown us that we are all human beings and then we are all the same, no matter which part of the world we live in. That skyscrapers and nuclear bombs are no help when disaster strikes. Not only this disaster, there are earthquakes, lightning strikes, floods, tsunamis. None of these are going to help. So if you say, if you don't have this, will it not come? This is something to be examined carefully. We have messed up the environment. We'll come to that later. So I am hoping that this understanding of oneness which we see because of the commonness of the experience of all people, rich or poor, politician, ruled or not ruled or whatever. Not only humans but also animals. This brings at least some compassion and large-heartedness for the common suffering of humanity and gives rise to creative ways of tackling the sorrows of mankind. I'm hoping, because we have had time to sit down and think. We have had time to study our minds. And having studied our minds and seen that this common factor that we all have as being human beings, which fear, the anger, the jealousy, the insecurity, they're common to all human beings. Having seen this, I'm hoping that some kind of compassion may arise in human beings to see, after all, that guy's suffering is the same as we suffering. What can we do about this? We can no longer afford to, after this disaster, which is worse than Third World War, to sit back in our glass houses and say, we are safe, so that is gone. It's shattered, that illusion. And that is a great lesson that we have learnt. I hope we have learnt. And therefore, personally, to see that after all, we are roughly the same hopes, same rich, same poor. This has come about only because we were, in a bad way of course, given a chance to live in isolation, given a chance to live in solitude. It also, I hope, will change the way we look at life when the lockdown is lifted. It's going to be lifted. Even like I said, the virus also has a lifespan. If not today, tomorrow is going to die down. We have seen many SARS, influenza, measles, smallpox, they've all died after a while. Of course, human beings tried vaccinate, all that is true. But what I'm saying is they also have a lifespan and they'll go. When this is lifted, how will we come out of this? How will we handle it? Can we keep this in mind about the commonality of all human beings, and the compassion and love required to exist in this world? Or when it is lifted, we again become the isolated individuals that we were before? Isn't this shock enough for us to change? That's what I'm asking the question. That's the way forward. Lessons learned and way forward. Is there a way? I think there should be a way to change. Now, if that is the case, we should look carefully. So many years till this thing came, no one saw how terrible we have treated the environment. So the way forward is to make sure that we look at the environment. The other day somebody sent me pictures of Banaras. The Ganga is crystal clear. A good friend of mine who was originally from Uttarakhand sent me pictures of Dev-Prayag and other places in the crystal clear. When I was 19 years old and wandering in the Himalayas, the water of the Ganga used to be like this. Then it became full of filth. Today, when human beings are in isolation, not traveling, no tourism, things have improved. The water is clear. When I told my friend from Uttarakhand, the Banaras water looks good because I think in some way the filth of the city with all the tourists going there is not going into the water. He said, you'll be surprised to know that even Rishikesh and beyond, it's the same thing. All the filth goes into the Ganga. Ganga is a symbol. I'm saying all waterways. Ganga is a divine, holy symbol of ancient times traditionally, but it's part of what we call waterways. And these waterways, who spoiled these waterways? We. Dumping everything that you don't want into the water. If you go to Banaras, and I heard even beyond, all the toilets of resorts and human being houses, everything goes right into the river. There are leather industries. I'm not saying leather industries are bad. Everybody wears shoes, bags and so on. But the tanning industry pushes all its, whatever it's called, effluence, right into the Ganga. I know, I've seen this with my own eyes in Kanpur, which is from where it comes into Banaras. So now, having gone through this, I also have a feeling it's precisely because of this that nature gives us warnings. Saying, hey, wake up. It's time to change. It's time to let waters move. It's time to unclog your waterways and rivers. It's also time to unclog your minds from their selfish dam building. You know, we build a dam and say this is all that matters, nothing beyond. So, this is a lesson to be learnt. And I'm hoping that when this is lifted, we would learn some of these lessons. And tradition has a lot to offer in this matter. Some people just throw all traditions out without even checking how valuable some of the traditions are. It's like the story of the baby being washed away with the bath water. See, since early times, we have been said, when you eat, wash your hands. It's not nothing new. Now we are doing it again. Because we have this forks and spoons, so we don't know what we... In fact, there's nothing healthier than eating with your hands if they are clean. It touches your body. Here you poke with these things. Anyway, that's okay, that's up to you. But now we have again started washing our hands, which was told 1,000 years ago, wash your hands. When you enter a house, wash your feet. Not only the guru's feet. And thank God if you wash it, don't drink the water. He may be having COVID or God knows what, or skin diseases. So don't do all that. So this washing of feet is to prevent things from getting into the house. Washing of hands is to prevent infections. There is a nice and beautiful greeting that has come down to us from 1,000 years. Why do you want to shake somebody's hand and rub somebody's noses together or hug somebody? It's easy to catch infections. Believe me, you don't think that this is over, there are no more. There are all kinds of microbes and viruses in this world. If you keep yourself clean and safe, they will not attack you, otherwise you never know. It's not as if the virus comes and immediately you have a problem. Maybe it will take some years before it starts affecting. So what am I saying is, you don't lose any love or affection because you're not hugging somebody. Well, if you're husband and wife, you don't hug, you won't have a child. That's a different matter. But you're not losing anything, right? And you don't have to shake hands. We are not such great spiritual beings. Shake hands and somebody gets spiritual. Nothing like that. So Namaste is such a beautiful symbol. It means your heart and my heart are together. We are together. So from now on, this is what I want to tell even people from the West who are not habitually Namaskarites, but please adopt it. I saw King Charles the other day going and meeting with... He's about to say, it's a beautiful thing. We have given the world many lovely things. Then cleanliness, keep yourself clean, have a bath, wash yourself every day. Because you never know, you go out, you bring so many things. So this is the way forward. What is the way forward? Take care of your rivers. Take care of your body, cleanliness. Clean up the waterways. Eat food which is only necessary. What did you do when the malls weren't open? Try to grow organic food in your household, even if it's on the terrace or if it's in a garden. Eat clean food. Wear clean clothes. Clean clothes doesn't mean expensive clothes. Clean clothes are clean clothes. The khadar which is very clean. I'm not saying everybody should wear khadar. So if you follow this, then I think we will be better placed to handle a situation like this, or even perhaps avoid such situations. I'm not going to say about foreign travel. In those days, there was a stigma attached to people going beyond the sea. Why? Because they're afraid they may bring in certain infections which we are not prepared to tackle. They might have got herd immunity because of that. We don't. It's a new thing that comes in. How do you think the Spanish brought smallpox and killed all those native Indians? They didn't do it deliberately, but they had smallpox germs. They had herd immunity. These poor fellows didn't have. They're not exposed. They all died by the lakhs and the millions. So this was why those restrictions were laid. Today, we can't survive without a global world. I understand. But then follow hygienic ways and means to keep yourself free of this. Where has this virus come from? Has it come from India? Come from China. And today, I'm not against anybody, but I'm saying that Chinese food, Chinese this, Chinese that, Chinese. I'm saying therefore that even in economy and even in day-to-day things, let's rely more on our indigenous Indian things. Let's manufacture for ourselves. Let's not be too, of course you cannot be free of total dependence totally. This world is a global place, you cannot do that. But to the best of your possibility, your capacity, try to understand at least your traditions and see how they help you and protect you. Above all, make sure that even when the lockdown is lifted, deliberately create a situation where you can remain in solitude at least for a few days. In that period of few days of solitude, you're exercising your mind, you're exploring your mind, you're going into the capacities of mind which normally you're not aware of because you're always leading an extrovert life. One of the important lessons, apart from environment, cleanliness, namaste and things to be adopted and improving your economy indigenously, what we have to also learn is how to create situations where voluntarily we have some periods of solitude. There you can go deeper into your mind, study the ancient texts which talk about it, go into the deeper aspects of humanity, and above all, give rest to the body and mind from ceaselessly working and making itself so tired that by the time we are going to die, we can't even move. So, these are some of the lessons, and this is the way we should look at this world. Believe me, after darkness, when light comes, you will see the world becomes brighter now after this crisis. But if you don't do these things which we discussed, again darkness is going to descend on us. So we have to, this is the way forward. So as we move forward, we should take others with us. You can't do it individually. Hold hands. Like the ancient Rigveda said, Sangachatwam, samvedatvam, samvo manam sijanatam. Walk together. Let's walk together. Let's seriously think of all the things that I said. If you don't agree, it's okay, but think about it. I'm not giving you formulas, I'm giving you food for thought. Please remember, thinking is yours. And having thought about it, hold hands. Not physically. Let's walk together on this path for the future, we need to seriously take this into consideration and bring our minds together to understand and bring our feet together to walk so that the world is once more in the blessed field of what has again been said 1,000 years ago. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu is not only for ourselves. If each unit develops indigenously and becomes good, that contributes to the individual development of the other unit, which is somewhere else geographically. And since we are interconnected, everything grows into a beautiful garden with lovely flowers of all kinds, some with color, some with fragrance. So, the last line I would like to say is, I think India is behaving in some way. We had a lot of medicines, and when other countries asked, we didn't say, no, we are not going to, we gave. There was also criticism regarding that, oh, we don't have. In fact, today I was reading a news item which says, India is the world's pharmacy. Good. So can we also be leaders in the field of humanity, compassion, living together in peace and so on? If that's possible, then I repeat again, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. So when you go off from here, wear clean clothes, have a bath, go for a walk, don't unnecessarily talk with people. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you very much.